Shadows of Rose DLC. What I liked. Well, I guess we should like talk about like the plot for a little bit.
Yeah, so Shadows of Rose is a direct continuation to Resident Evil 8 Village. It takes place obviously in the future as a continuation with Ethan's daughter, Rose Winters. And basically what we got here is that Rose is she's got these powers and she wants to get rid of them because she just wants to live a normal life. But, what was it?
She has to do some things before that happens.
She's got to get into some plot. She's got to start her Resident Evil journey.
Also, like, all spoilers, so, like, play it, I guess.
Beware.
Yeah, beware. What is it, 2 or 3 hours? It's short.
It's very short. It's 3 hours. I don't know. You could beat RE2 in that time, though, I guess. So
yeah, I guess
is it really short?
Every Resident Evil game is short.
Yeah.
So she ends up they have a sample of I'm not going to say it right, the Megamycete is what it's called.
Well, there's the Megamycete, and then there's the Mutamycete. Now there's
okay.
our Resident Evil, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. That definitely sounds like Resident Evil. So she has to go into the Mega or the Mutamycete to try to get rid of her powers, and the gameplay actually starts when she's in this first level of like the Mycete. I'll just say Mycete.
Yeah, we're gonna.
So you start out basically in the castle again.
Yes.
But before I talk about that, let me talk about the things I like. The first thing I liked is like, I think it's like super cool to like, I guess not super cool. It's super weird, I guess kind of cool in a metal way to like see yourself die over and over and over again. I thought that was a sick concept.
So you're talking about the clones?
Yeah, the clones.
Yeah, no. I think it took me off guard going back into the castle again, but this time there was obviously a new take. The castle was obviously like a stalker sequence in the first one, and it's almost the same way with this one. It's kind of underwhelming. I think we get one new enemy in the castle. They're kind of like Paleheads. They do a lot of damage, and they can easily kill you in one shot, but if you don't have any type of recoveries, Rose has her powers, but obviously they're not permanent. You can run out of them. You gotta heal up on them with a bit special herbs, right?
Yeah. It looks just like an herb, but it's like flowers on it.
Yeah. So
I forgot what it's called. Yeah, it looked like a rose, really. I guess that was the other thing I liked. It looked really... Sometimes, like, playing Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3, the remakes, like, sometimes when you get bit, it's, like, kind of hard to conceptualize, like, that it hurts. Because, like, when I get bit by a zombie sometimes, I'm just like, okay. But, like, seeing this thing, like, suck your face off... literally like suck you off. Like it's crazy. They're literally sucking you off. But like I thought that looked really cool, and it actually looked like kind of painful. It just felt like a good way to get hit in this game, and it makes sense because this game's a little like Jump the Sharky. It's a little weird, so I'm like okay with it.
Yeah. So this time for the take, the Duke is actually somewhat of an antagonist in the castle sequence. He throws on his Phantom Thieves mask, and you gotta go around mask hunting in this place. And these Palehead type monsters, they look like they deal a lot of damage, and I thought they were gonna one shot me from just by how they killed off the clones. Mm-hmm. You'll find out when you play the story that there's clones of Rose, and it all ties in at the end. And yeah, they do a lot of damage. So if you're not prepared finding all your materials, you're gonna have a tough time with this. There's a lot of them, so, and you can't really play too stealthy. It's not like God, how do I pronounce her name? Lady Dimitrescu.
I think it's Demicro or something.
That's stupid.
Lady Demetrius, I think is her name.
The 8-foot tall lady.
Yeah.
So you can't really take those routes that you could with her. You kind of gotta like face these enemies. There's no really avoiding it. Like with her, you could like hide and stuff, and it was kind of easy. There is a new... Would you consider him a stalker?
Well, let me jump... First of all, no. There is a new stalker type enemy, but it's kind of like in Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, but even shorter than that, where Nemesis follows you around for 15 to 16 seconds, and then he's not really stalking you anymore. It's more scripted. Okay. We have one of those in this game again. It's kind of mid. to L territory. But like to jump in on a couple things you said before, in RE2 and RE3, these games play so similar, and now with RE8 third person, where we're in the habit of doing the same exact things, running up, shooting a zombie, running past them, and I like that in this game you couldn't do that because you had to look around for these little like bulb things you need to fry with your powers. So you need to either secure a route before you encounter enemies, which is hard a lot of the times. Keep like super high awareness where you're running, you're dodging. What I guess it's I don't even know what it's called. Dodging these monsters, maybe shooting them and running past them, but that's not going to be enough to break these bulbs. So you're going to have to like figure another way out. I like that. It was like it didn't last long. The shooting portion of this game, it was a little bit different gameplay compared to RE2 and RE3, and I did enjoy that. And also back when you mentioned the Duke is in this game. He has his Phantom Thieves mask on.
Yes.
That shit makes no sense to me.
Doesn't make any sense.
It's like, I actually think it makes like the Duke worse.
Okay, yeah. So basically, you will read up towards the end of it. It's about the last sequence. I would break this DLC down into 3 parts.
Agreed.
We're on the castle right now. There's the dollhouse, and then you go back to the village. So castle, dollhouse, and then village. That would be about like $7 a piece if you're breaking these down. If you're breaking them down, if you're like that. But you get to find out why the Duke was chosen, but it just doesn't make sense.
Actually, I think I'm going to cut you off here because I literally don't even know what you're talking about. In the castle, in his like lair, when you buy weapons.
Yeah.
I saw a note saying, "Hey, I have a mask on. I can't control my action." So like, oh, I guess that's how they're trying to explain it. So I literally don't know what you're talking about. If you could explain it.
Yeah. So when you're Rose and you're going to the end sequence, I think you jump down the hole. Remember in the original RE8 when you jump down that hole as Chris Redfield at the end, you bomb
with that baby thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you jump down there and you go down in that area again, and there's like passages you raid. It was Mother Miranda. Yeah, so she's writing these scripts about how she wants to go back and get Rose back in her plans. So, and she's writing about how she uses the Duke as a gateway to, I don't know, for the Rose copies.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a reach, but it almost like, it still is like, why the Duke? And it's kind of weird that they chose the Duke. And like, I agree with you, they killed his character because at the end of RE8 he was somewhat of a hero, an anti-hero maybe. Mm-hmm. And now he's just like Phantom Thieves.
Yeah.
he's a sellout.
He's literally an anime character now. Like before, I think a lot of people like the Duke because one, he's like, I think people like the observer trope where like, oh, like, I'm a neutral observer and I'm only going to sell you guns because it benefits me and I'm just watching what happens. And in the end, he kind of breaks that, but it's like, I feel like a lot of people like the mystery around the Duke, and like watching the Duke do this lame shit is like super, honestly, it's actually cringe.
It kills a good character almost. I think we should move off from the Duke now though.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add? The castle section. We'll break this down into sequences.
Yeah, you're right. The castle. I wish it was longer, but I'm just at that point. That's just me expecting the full game. So no, I think I'm okay.
So for the castle section, I wasn't a fan of the one enemy type. They got played out really quick because you know how to handle them. They're almost you can stun them and then you could just walk past them. I think the castle section was it's just classic RE stuff, find keys and, solve puzzles. Like, there's really, you're not doing anything crazy. The only thing good I like about the castle section is that you get to use your guns, unlike in the second section that we will cover to next. But, it was probably the best towards the end when you fight the boss, which is, he's like the sledgehammer guy from RE5 in a way.
Yeah.
He's like that guy. You're not in these places like in physical time. These are all memories according to the lore of the DLC. So you're going through memories, but they're not being like according to Rose's memory. They're not very like accurate.
If you didn't play this game, I'm sorry for if you are trying to understand this, but I think everyone who's in there is trapped because I think they died there.
Okay.
Because like Ethan's at this point I'm game theorying, but like Ethan's memories are there, it makes sense. Miranda's memories are there, and I guess we'll like get into more stuff later. But like I think only the people who were there when the Megamycete died or fell or got blown up are like still there.
So they're trapped.
I don't understand. Ethan's trapped in the Megamycete. Is his consciousness like there forever?
I thought it was stupid the way Ethan comes in. Okay, the way Ethan re-enters this universe is, it's very, very corny. And I say that not with a grain of salt. It's very, it's just like, ugh. It like literally storybook, like Cinderella Disney, the way Ethan comes in and he's like, I gotta save Rose. Like basically that type of trope. And he's like, oh, he comes in and he's like throwing his life around again. I think like I'm pretty sure he's dead.
Yeah, they didn't make it clear, like, if Miranda, it's hard to see if, like, alright, is this real, first of all? Mm-hmm. Okay, it seems real. It seems like these are true memories of Miranda and at least Ethan. Maybe other people, too. But, like, at this point, and maybe the Duke, but, like, okay, can these people leave? Because it seems like that was Miranda's goal, to resurrect Eve at the end and do all that stuff, but are we trapped here? Are we dead? Like, is your consciousness trapped here? How is Ethan watching over Rose if he's stuck in this thing? It just, like, I think maybe I'm, like, just, like trying to think. It seemed like that was, like, a literal another world that existed, and they were there. So it was hard to understand.
Well, we got to remember how Rose entered this place. She did it through the sample in the lab.
Yeah.
So maybe she can go through the memories of the sample, and that's why everything's kind of like not true, because it's kind of all mixed into this thing, and it's kind of like when you go into the village, everything's like falling apart, like it's chaotic. Mm-hmm. But I mean, speculation can only get us so far.
I know.
With the little amounts of like lore that's in the actual DLC itself. But would you go on to the house next?
Yeah, we should talk about the house.
Yeah, the house.
I think the house was perfect, man. I think the house was... Yeah, there was a little bit of, like, rehashing with the dolls in the beginning. It's basically the same thing you did in Village, but it's with dolls. But I think it was, like, kind of funny in a way. Like, the dolls were making fun of Rose. And there was just, like, instances where she was bullied.
Yes.
And I think at one point, too, she's like, what'd she go? Like, one of the scenes plays out, and she's like, yeah, I get it, fuck you. Mm-hmm. It's, like, super funny, just stuff like that. Do you have any thoughts about, like, that section? I just thought it was just like, hey, remember this?
The house entirely?
Just that section of it. Just that first section with the dolls.
So, I'd have to agree. I think it was repetitive to me. I wasn't a fan of the opening to the house part of the Shadows of Rose DLC. It was basically the same thing Ethan does when he goes into House Benavides. You gotta go, there's something on the table and you gotta complete it to get what you need. And then the next part, they throw a curveball. The next part is probably the most, my favorite part of the entire DLC. So in RE8, when you're in the House of Benavides, you're operating on this Mia doll, and when you finish everything, the lights cut out and the doll disappears, and then there's blood streaks leaking into the hallway. But in that game, you go down the hallway and then you get the giant baby monster that chases you. So in a way, that's a curveball. But now in Rose, the doll it disappears again, but this time it actually follows you, which you're not expecting because it didn't play out that way.
It pops up a couple times before then too. You have to walk past it a couple times.
Yep.
And, nothing happens.
It's like, haha, you scared me.
Yeah.
But the I think this is actually the scariest part, and I regret playing this DLC during the day because that definitely would have freaked me out 10 times more than it would have. You have to, it's a stalker sequence with dolls, and you have to keep your eye on them, otherwise they follow you. It's like that Doctor Who episode.
Nigga, we do not watch Doctor Who.
Hey man, it's some type of angels in the Doctor Who. It's
basically you need to keep your. I think there's an SCP. See, now I'm going to say something that you don't know. There's like an SCP game where you have to look at the monster and. My fault. All right. But yeah, you have to keep eye contact with the doll, and whenever you look away, it's going to chase you.
Yes.
And I think it's like honestly expert level design.
Yeah. No. The house's peak of the DLC, I would say overall, and then. Is there anything you didn't like about the anything else you didn't like about the dollhouse section?
I guess I'll hop in for like. I think the best moment, maybe honestly, the best thing I've played in maybe years, is when you go to get the switch from the elevator, and you go into the bedroom, and then once you get it, a doll breaks in.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, you keep your eye on it. You're walking out of the room backwards, and then you're walking backwards, and in your camera, you just see a second doll. To this point, there's only been one doll. When they introduced that second doll, I literally paused the game and I was like, oh shit,
Yep.
It got me.
They got you.
It got me good. So then I'm like, I literally am just standing there. So I'm like, all right, now I have two. And is this one going to get me right now because I'm not looking at it? My back is turned.
Yep.
So then I just run to the kitchen. And then, okay, I can handle it.
Yeah.
Couple more steps, make it through the hallway, a third doll.
I don't even know where the third doll comes from. All I know is I looked behind and I saw 6 glowing eyes in the dark. It was frightening. I tell you, this DLC hit the nail on the head. I think it was way scarier than the baby sequence in Ethan's story. And like what I know Ari does the doll shit a lot, but here it's actually terrifying.
This house is better than the village house by a long shot.
I would say so. With the baby and Ethan story, there's like specific route you can take. You can easily juke the baby out.
Yeah.
With the dolls, it's a lot harder because like there's like 5 of them, and they you take your eyes off them. They run quick. You can't outrun the doll. Like they're ridiculously quick. They catch you, so you have to turn back every couple seconds. But then wait, there's another doll to your left, and if you take your eyes off that doll, it's coming. It's gonna kill you. So you gotta play this part very specifically, very like route worthy, I'd say.
And I guess like to get to things that I don't like, I thought it was really cool like when they shrunk you down.
Yeah.
I think that was like cool, like it looked cool, but actually playing it, I just thought the hide and seek thing was just a little boring. But it was cool enough. Like I give it a pass,
Yeah, when you got shrunk down, I think it became less scary for me. I think the dolls when they shrunk you down and then a large doll came, I think I stopped being scared because it's like it's almost comical at that point.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh wow, I got this giant doll chasing me now, and like it just kind of took away. It was underwhelming, but still like a very good part of the house. And I think you wrap this part up with we run into an old friend in the story.
Yes. Evelyn.
Yes, we run back into Evelyn. She's still trapped in these memories.
Which makes sense because Evelyn is, now that Ethan was apparently 99% mold for years, Evelyn is a part of him now. And you see this when Ethan dies in Resident Evil 8. She's a part of him. So it makes logical sense that she's here. But like, here to do what? Just be annoying.
Yeah, Evelyn's here for almost no reason. Mother Miranda talks about it. How
in
Evelyn,
the letter at the end, right?
Yep, how Evelyn's like soiling plans there. But other than that, we get an Evelyn boss fight and we get to test out some of Rose's powers again. But the boss fight, it's nothing crazy. It's like, eh.
Yeah, I think too. Like, honestly, it's literally just pattern recognition. She's going to explode 3 times, and that's when you hit her.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm kind of thinking too, there might be a DLC too for Evelyn, but the fact that she's included in here, and at the end she's crying because she obviously, I forget what Ethan's wife's name is, but she's crying because like nobody loves her and she's a failure. Like I thought like that was going to be a Disney Channel moment. Like, you know, Ethan's gonna hug and she's going to disappear. No, she's crying, and then she gets pissed that you see her and she tries to kill you. And Ethan saves you. Like, Evelyn as a character is just like... maybe it's me, like, wanting too simple, like wanting really simple stories and wanting, like, a bad character to turn good. Or wanting the stereotype. But, like, it just feels like she's incomplete to me.
Yeah.
Like, what's her arc? She was a badass kid on a boat. She's old when you... This is such a bad summarization. She's old when you kill her in RE7. And now she's back in Ethan. And she's just being a brat and still nobody loves her. You know what I mean? It's like... Are we getting a DLC with, like, Ethan's wife? Are we going to ever close that loop? Or is this it?
Yeah, I think Evelyn's story arc is kind of... It's bland. I mean, it was really big in RE7. I give it that. Because, like, with the boat sequence at the end, you really get to find out what's up with Evelyn, what she is, and how this all came to be. But with Ethan being dead, like, everything changed, and now she's just basically a memory, and she's still, like, taunting with everyone. I think Evelyn's just, like, she's basically chaotically evil at this point.
Yeah.
And it's just annoying to deal with. Because I thought she got some redemption in RE8.
Yeah, I thought that scene was, like one, kind of, like, funny.
Yeah.
Because she's, like, talking shit while
Exactly.
you're literally dying. I thought that was funny. And I thought it was kind of, like, I don't know, like, heartwarming in a way that she's still with you. But, like, now when she's just, like, being a brat in this, like, DLC, it's like, alright. You're starting to play yourself out.
Yeah. So, I think that continues the second part of the DLC.
Yeah. I think that's all I have to say about part 2.
So, the third part. You want to take the mic on this one? Take the mic.
Really, it's just a boss fight. And honestly, I think the DLC tried to make a point with how strong Rose is. This boss fight is brain dead. This is one of the easiest boss fights. You parry her projectile, and you do tree move. That's it. There isn't that you're not going to use any first aid sprays. This isn't RE8's boss fight where you're using all of your materials that you've saved up, and it's time to go all out. No, it's almost like it's literally anime. It's like you have powers, she has powers. What are you gonna do about it? You're gonna win. You're stronger.
Yeah. The lack of guns in this DLC was very underwhelming.
Yeah.
Like in first person, it was kind of
mid. Yeah.
But like when you like actually like see that shotgun kick, it feels good.
Yeah.
But there was really not much of gun use in this DLC. You're more focused on Rose's powers, which I guess makes sense after all too, because she's trying to. That's what the whole DLC is about. But yeah, this whole last sequence is very. It's like supposed to be like heartwarming, like father-daughter reunion. But like, I just still can't get over the way they reintroduced Ethan. It's like, she's like contemplating. She's like, wait, Michael?
Yeah.
Is that my dad? And I'm like, this is like...
Obviously, bro.
He's being so overdramatic when he's like saving him. He's like, go, Rose, leave me, but he's already dead.
Yeah. Bro died twice. Bro died
Fumble.
twice, and he's trying to make the second death dramatic. But, like, I don't even think I have... Like, the beginning of the game, she goes in to get rid of her powers. She does get rid of her powers for a little bit, but she sacrifices it to save her already dead dad.
Yeah.
First of all, dumb fuck decision. Second, you should have let him rot. Second of all...
Literal mold.
Literal mold. Like, it's nice to see that, you know, Rose grows up and does hang out with her dad, But that's like really all this DLC is. Rose gets to spend 15 minutes with her dad. And I guess that's like cute. It's cool, I guess. Like story, like it's nice that it happened. She still has her powers at the end. I thought I heard it somewhere. I tried to find it, but I can't find it. They said that this was the end of the Winters saga. I thought this was going to be the last Winters DLC everything. But she still has her powers at the end. The end credit scene is the end credit scene of the original game. It's when she goes and visits Ethan's grave.
Yeah.
So like that was kind of like a shoulder nudge. Hey, this happened. You already know this.
Yeah. Since you get in there, I was not a fan of the ending cutscene. I waited until after the credits. I was waiting for that Marvel cameo. I did not get it, and it ended the same way. No, there will be no Rose Winters in Secret Wars. I can tell you that. And it's just, we got that same Ethan model walking back to the car, and the car stops. Yeah. And that's exactly how RE8 ended. I thought we'd get a little more, after, $20.
Yeah.
It's asking a little just to give us some more, cinematics.
Like, also, too, now, I don't think we should talk about it for long because it's, like, indescribable. Miranda's, like, overpowered. Like, she can affect the real world. She can draw Rose into this world. You know what I mean? It seems like she's too powerful, but it doesn't matter. She's maybe dead. I don't even understand how the Megabyte seat works, but oh well, who cares?
Yeah.
It's Resident Evil Secret Lab things.
Exactly. Classic Umbrella Corporation.
Yeah, classic throwback. I think that's all I wanted to say.
Regarding the
DLC, if you
Shadows of Rose.
Yeah, anything you wanted to say?
Regarding Shadows of Rose?
Yeah.
I think for the playtime you get, I got 3 hours out of this. What would you say you got?
Three, a little bit less, but yeah, 2.5 maybe.
So you're getting about close to 3 hours on this game, and for the price, $20. I think if you break it down, like I said earlier, like the $7 thing, I feel like the first two parts are very much there, they're worth it, and then it dies off quickly. Like the ending is just kind of, it's just not all the hype like they would make it seem to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say definitely pick this DLC up, give it a shot, and you might like it more than we do, but that's just our opinions on it. And
yeah, I guess I talked down about it a lot. I actually, like, overall, I really did like it. Give it like an 8 out of 10. Really, yeah, you've already heard my complaints. I thought the good parts were like really, really, really good. So overall, I still think it's really good. If you play Resident Evil like Resident Evil, you probably already played it. And maybe you thought it was good. Maybe you thought it was mid. Maybe you thought it was ass. but yeah. Should we talk about
should we address the elephant in the room?
Should we talk about what we really wanted to talk about?
Why we're really all here. We've been waiting for a certain something from the RE franchise for a few years now. I'd say at least since RE3 came out, right?
Yeah, RE3 Remake. I believe when RE3 Remake was announced, they announced
Resident Evil verse.
Oh. Ooh.
This game is dog ass.
This is legitimately one of the worst games I ever played. But it's really fun.
It's fun if you're playing with somebody. Let me stress that enough. And also this game, for some reason, it's only free for all, which is...
Yeah.
It takes away from, a more enjoyable experience.
We were sitting in the lobby and trying to invite our friend to a party. You can't play a public match in a party, which makes sense, but that only makes sense because the only game mode is free-for-all. Why would you make a game... I think they made this game intentionally bad. I think that was their goal. Like, and that's okay. It's like watching a shitty like horror movie. Like, you make it intentionally bad. I get it, but like you have to be able to play with your friends online against other people. You can't just do
It's 2022. Come on.
Yeah.
You need you need parties. You need party games, and nobody wants to queue up as Leon S. Kennedy playing solo against, you know, everybody else from Raccoon City. It's just, when you have that partner, because obviously Resident Evil is usually it's obviously always a one-person game, but when you're bringing in a multiplayer aspect of it, you would expect there to be, or at least an online like versus mode, you expect there to be teams, which would make this a lot more fun, but it's just, you don't get that with this. And all what I can say is, though, it's really choppy, but kind of funny, like he was saying. It's funny in a way, watching these characters run faster than they're supposed to run.
Yeah.
So they look very choppy doing it. And I think you get 2 maps.
Okay, a couple things I've heard. I took some time and I went on the REverse subreddit.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, one of the most depressing experiences I've had in a while, because you see a lot of people who care about this game and who really want it to be great, but you know Capcom's never coming back to this and never fixing it. So, like, first of all, the one thing to remember is that this game was delayed a year. This game was supposed to come out with RE3. And, you know, when that game came out, you ask me all the time, it's like, bro, wasn't REverse supposed to come out? Aren't we supposed to be? When is it coming out? It came out now, and it still feels like the first time they ever showed it. There's nothing meaningfully different now than compared to when it was first showed. It's the same thing. It doesn't feel good. And I think what's the worst thing about this is that the only way to play this super bad game is ranked. All public matches are ranked. So that's why we can't party together. Because Resident Evil wants to force a ranked mode on a game that's not good. Sorry, bro.
No, you're
I
good,
blacked
man.
out. I blacked out, man.
Let me tell you something. I thought I blacked out when I first booted up this game. The maps are too small for all these players, because you got Jack Baker running around in Nemesis at the same time, and Mr. X, like, you got all these characters running around, and it puts you at a disadvantage. If you kill someone and they turn into Jack Baker or Nemesis, you literally you can't do anything. You're dead. You're dead immediately. Like, you can't. It's so hard to kill these tyrants.
I think this is the first game I ever played where you have to, like, right after you kill somebody, you have to run away from their dead body at full speed. Because whatever they're turning into will auto-kill you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, this game isn't... It's not for the weak-minded. It's very frustrating.
Yeah. If you have, like, 6 people in a party and you throw together a private match, yeah, that's probably a fun time. But if you have to say that a game is fun only with friends, it's not fun. It's probably just dog shit.
Games. You can guess. You can guess which one we're thinking about this game. REverse, what do you give this game out of 10?
I actually, if they charge for this game, I actually think this game is like a borderline hate crime. If you identify as a Resident Evil fan, I think Capcom has went out of their way to try to hurt you, to try to waste your time.
I think REverse is like the Castle Miner Z of Minecraft. It's this game. It's just so, just doesn't feel like it's a AAA, like AAA studios make this game. It's very shocking.
Yeah. I hope they fix it, because there are a lot of people, I don't want to say a lot, there are some people who really do like this game and really do want it to succeed and really love Resident Evil. So I really hope Capcom comes back to this. They've been doing really good recently. I hope they come back to the game and they fix a lot of the issues. They let you play with your friends. Honestly, if we could party with each other, this would be a lot easier to talk about, because we wouldn't have immediately hated the game.
Yeah, which unfortunately ended up being the reality. And I think, though, overall, I know we gave it some shit, but this is an honest review. I think the Shadows of Rose DLC, I'm gonna have to, for DLC, for $20 DLC, I think I'll give this game I'm gonna give this game an 85 out of 100, so 8.5.
Not bad.
REverse, for a free download, I'm gonna have to give this game like a 3.
Yeah.
This game is not Capcom. I know you can do better. You're good with multiplayer games and online games. I know they can do better with this. They just, clearly it needs a little bit more time in the oven.
Yeah, I think I already said Shadows of Rose is at least an 8. It's really good. Re:Verse, even like you said, you shouldn't even. This is not worth your time. You shouldn't even download this isn't worth the hard drive space.
Unless you truly hate yourself, I don't think this game will interest you.
Yeah, there was a little bit of genuine excitement about Re:Verse. I literally thought it was going to be a little bit of a thing,
Yeah.
I hopped on Twitter the day it came out. I saw absolutely nothing. I wondered why. We booted it up. I knew why. But yeah, I think that's it for the Winter's DLC. I'm gonna try to play Village again, third person, but maybe I'll make the Shadows of Rose DLC make a little bit more sense in some areas.
Yeah, I think the third person mode is probably one of the most anticipated things of this whole DLC.
For me, yeah.
Yeah, no, you can definitely tell that RE8 was more designed for that third person aspect, because with RE7 it's very close quarters. You're in this house, you're in these like claustrophobic areas. RE8's very open.
Yeah.
And it just, I think it feels a lot better with the over the shoulder camera angle.
Mm-hmm.
Works a lot better, and also it's kind of like leading into RE4 remake, which will come out in a few months, which I am very excited for.
That's gonna be hype.
It's gonna be great. It looks good already.
Yeah. So, Re:Verse 2, can't wait for it. Let's go.
Re:Verse 2. The train ride there.
Re:Verse 2 hype train.
Re:Verse 2. Wait.
First stop right here. Second stop in your heart.
I'm gonna end it like how Albert Wesker starts his fights. Chris!
That's good.